Bank of Utah has been a long-standing partner and sponsor of this event. And we're privileged to have Arthur Newell here to ask a few questions about his perspective about the event, about our valley, and about the growth of Utah County. Arthur, with over 30 years of doing business in this valley, what has changed and what has stayed the same?
Well, that's a good question, Curtis. I would say that the things that have changed, we've become a much more diverse population, and that's a great thing for the valley. I think that we've become, that diversity has brought in some new thoughts, some new ideas, maybe a new way of doing things, which is a very good thing. And I think those are the things there. The things that have stayed the same, the core values of what we hold, the core values of a quality of life that we enjoy, a family, being successful. We have a highly entrepreneurial population in Utah Valley, and that's a great thing. There are a lot of business startups and a lot of energy around those business startups, both in technology as well as in biotech and all kinds of businesses. And I think those, and a commitment to education, I think has always existed as one of the core values here in Utah Valley. So under the shadow of Timpanogos, we have a great life, and we all enjoy that.
Well said. You mentioned some thoughts there about values. What are some of the similar values that both the Bank of Utah and the Executive Summit share?
Well, I think our commitment to try to get good information, our commitment to try to make sure that information is understood, and that we make good decisions based on that. That's core to the Executive Summit. But there are other things like the idea of accountability and the idea of synergy, that we bring different thoughts together to try to make a better decision. And those are things that we try to value, the diversity, and to appreciate the diversity.
Yeah, very good. They say never let a good crisis go to waste. What lessons do you feel that businesses in the Valley have learned, and what are some of the lessons that the Bank of Utah has learned from our existing pandemic?
Well, it's very interesting, the great things that have come as a result of disasters. It's always hard at the personal level when you see people that are struggling or challenging, whether it's an earthquake or whether it's a COVID or whether it's whatever the crisis is. But to see the courage and strength and the tenacity of people as they move forward. I've seen businesses that have never done better than through this last 6 months of this crisis time. They've adapted. And businesses that you think that were very affected by this have been creative and had to find new ways of doing business and find better ways, or ways that they could change their business model a little bit to be able to stay alive. And that is the core of the entrepreneurial value that we have.
Well said. Well said. That's a perfect segue to my last question, and that is this. And it's a little bit more of a personal question. I asked for your indulgence in this, but I look at the storied history that you've had in this valley, the amazing things that you have accomplished. We've entered a new decade, 2020. It started off as it has, a little rocky. You mentioned an earthquake, a pandemic. We've had 100-year storms. We've had fires. We just were looking at the beautiful face of Timpanogos and see some recent scarring from a fire. It has been an interesting start to 2020. We have 10 years of the 20s, if you will, coming ahead. What are some things that have been left undone by Arthur Newell? What are some of the things that you feel you have yet to accomplish?
Well, there's a long list on there, but so there's a lot of things that still need to be done in my life, but I'm grateful for the opportunity I've had to associate with the great people of this valley and this Chamber of Commerce, frankly. And I think that there's a lot of things. We need to be, we say we stand on the shoulders of giants. Well, we are the giants of tomorrow, and we need to do the things today that will help our kids and our children's children to be able to enjoy the great quality of life that we do and even improve it. And I think with that comes the importance of doing things, of building businesses, strengthening businesses, and the power of education and those core values of entrepreneurship and hard work. All of those things will lead us in a direction that will improve the quality of life for us and for our children, which is what we want to have.
That's great. What final invitation would you give our audience members that are attending the Executive Summit? If there was a call to action or some sort of invitation that you might extend to those as we enter the month of November. We have this excellent cohort of folks. What invitation could you leave our audience members with as they look forward to 2021?
Well, I think it's carpe diem.
Yeah.
And enjoy the next 2 days. This content is really going to be beneficial. And if you'll take it seriously, listen to it, and use the format to your benefit, and jot some notes down. Find ways that you can get involved, things that you can learn, and maybe if you disagree, that you can voice your opinion and make sure that that's known as well. And so that we're hearing all of the voices in the community. And I think that's important as we plan the future of YouTube.
Yeah. Arthur, in any other environment, I'd shake your hand and thank you on camera. We'll elbow bump, but we sure appreciate your time. Ladies and gentlemen, Arthur Newell, Bank of Utah, we're so grateful for their sponsorship and partnership, but most especially that we can surround ourselves with such great people like Arthur.